Always how it goes, isn't it?
Technology, eh?
There we are. Apparently it's working now, so we'll get started. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this licensing hearing. It's a review of a premises license for Zaffron at 99 North Road, Brighton, Bravo November 1 Yankee Echo. Before we get started with the hearing, could I just ask the councillors on the panel to elect amongst themselves a chair?
I'd like to elect Councillor Cattell.
Yeah, I second that.
Thank you very
Councillor
much.
Cattell, you have it.
Okay, I'm just taking over the right. Okay. Sorry, what's that? There's a bit of echo, weird echo
No,
going
that
on.
was just a bit of echo, I believe, from Narula. They've muted themselves, so that shouldn't continue.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Let's get back to this. First of all, are there any declarations of substitutes today? I don't think there are. Ongoing police investigations. So when I asked the police to start making their representations, I will be asking them which, if any, bits they need to us to exclude members of the press and public. So, as Frankie said, this is an application for a licence review for Zaffron, 99 North Road, Brighton, BN1 1YE. I'm going to get everybody to introduce themselves before we crack on. Please keep your microphone off if you're not speaking. So I'll just go across. I'll go across the screen. First of all, I'll introduce the three councillors. I'm Councillor Julie Cattell. I'm Deputy Chair of Licensing Committee, and I represent Westbourne and Poets Corner. Sam.
I'm Councillor Sam Parrott for Westbourne and Poets Corner, and I'm a member of the Licensing Committee.
Thank you. Kerry.
I'm Councillor Kerry Pickett for Preston Park Ward and part of the Licensing Committee.
Thank you. Right, now I'll go across with the other guests. Emma, would you like to put your camera on just so we can see you briefly? You can turn it off if you want and introduce yourself.
Thanks. Morning, I'm Emma Lawrence. I'm part of the planning team. I'm consulted on licensing applications, and yes, that's me.
Thank you very much. Sue.
I'm Councillor Sue Shanks. I'm a councillor for the ward West Hill North Lane, which Zaffron is in, and I've had objections.
Thank you. Mitchie.
I'm Councillor Mitchie Alexander. I'm not a councillor for this ward. I'm a councillor for Colding and Stanmer, but someone I know from a family project I used to work for reached out to me and asked if I would represent her views on this.
Thank you. Donna.
Good morning, Donna Linsdale from the licensing team, making a representation on their behalf today.
Thank you. Frankie.
Good morning, Frankie Mitchell, Democratic Services, and I'm clerking this meeting.
Thank you. Now I've got Carol here, but I'm not sure if she's here. I could just see her screen. No, there she is. Hello, Carol. Oh, could you're muted.
Sorry, I could just introduce myself. I'm Rebecca Siddell, legal advisor to the panel, and I have my senior colleague Carol Haynes and Helen sitting in on this one, if that's all right. They're just observing the panel.
Sorry, Rebecca. I was just going through how people are appearing on my screen. Sorry, Carol, go ahead.
As explained by Rebecca, I'm the senior employment and litigation lawyer, and I'm here to observe this meeting today.
Thank you. Sarah.
Good morning, Sarah Booker-Lewis, local democracy reporter for Brighton and Hove, representing the majority of news media in the city.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Mark?
Yeah, Mark Thorogood, Sussex Police Licence in Brighton and Hove.
Okay, thank you. Ben?
Morning all, Ben Morrison. I'm the Operations and Licensing Inspector for Brighton and Hove Police, here in support of Mark Thorogood.
Thank you very much. Emily?
Morning everyone, Emily Fountain, Licensing Officer presenting the review application.
Helen.
Good morning everyone, I'm a colleague of Rebecca's and Carol's in legal and I'm observing.
Okay, and now finally I have Graham Hopkins.
Morning, Chair. Yes, I'm from Duty Licensing Consultants. To my right, you may see Mrs. Potter, her partner, and to the left, I have Mr. Habibi from Saffron.
Okay, yes, your sound quality isn't great, Graham. I don't know if have you got headphones?
I haven't, Chair. No.
Okay.
I'll try and speak as loud as I can.
Yeah, it's just obviously it's really important that we do sort of hear from you. Okay, thank you. Right. Okay. Now, I will now hand over to Donna, Emily rather, to start to introduce the council's case, the licensing authority's case.
Thank you, Chair. This hearing has been convened so that the Licensing Authority can determine a review application submitted by Sussex Police under Section 51 of the Licensing Act in regard to the late night refreshment licence issued for Saffron. The premises licence holder is Saffron Limited, the director of which is Nurullah Habibi. A copy of the current premises licence can be viewed at Appendix A from page 27 of today's papers. The review application was submitted to the Licensing Authority on the 13th of August and accepted on the grounds relating to the licensing objective of the prevention of crime and disorder. The review application can be seen in Appendix B. This has not been published due to an ongoing police investigation, but has been circulated to all the relevant parties. Further to evidence from Sussex Police is attached in Appendix B1 from page 35. 7 representations have been received from local councillors, a Brighton MP, the Licensing Authority, Environmental Protection, Immigration and Planning. Representations have regard to all 4 licensing objectives, and these representations can be found in Appendix C from page 41. The premises submitted a response to the review submitted by Sussex Police, and this can be found in Appendix D from page 79. A map of the location of the premises can be found in Appendix E. Section 52 of the Licensing Act 2003 provides that where the Licensing Authority considers that action in relation to the review application is necessary for the promotion of the licensing objectives, the panel can take the following steps. Modification of the licence conditions, adding, modifying or removing conditions, exclusion of a licensable activity, this could include limiting hours or activities in all or part of the premises, suspension of the licence for a period not exceeding 3 months, revocation of the licence, or to do nothing. Licensing guidance issued under Section 182 of the Licensing Act states that in deciding which of these powers to invoke, it is expected that licensing authorities should, so far as possible, seek to establish the cause or causes of the concerns that the representations identify. The remedial action taken should generally be directed at these causes and should always be no more than appropriate and proportionate response to address the causes of concern that instigated the review. The Council's licensing enforcement policy has adopted an approach set out by the Home Office and a document entitled Problem Premises on Probation, Red and Yellow Cards, how it would work. Oh, sorry, I've got a bit of technical. Okay, yeah, fine. The document sets out to encourage partnership working in identifying problem premises and lists steps to be taken in first and second intervention measures together with a list of possible tough conditions. First intervention may be suspension with conditions, a yellow card, and second intervention would look to revoke the licence, red card. The guidance makes it clear that proposed interventions would not prevent the giving of an instant red card in an appropriately serious case. Our statement of licensing policy details this scheme in full from page 49. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Emily. Now, as the police have called in this review, I will ask them to open. Who's going to be speaking? Oh, sorry, Rebecca. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you just wanted to check if anyone has any questions of clarification of Emily. They may well not.
Oh, okay. Yep. Any questions? Any
You know, so it's also to protect those people as well that have been arrested, to ensure that they get a fair trial should it go that far.
Okay, thanks very much. Just to clarify, in the closed session, did you say you're happy to have the applicant there as well?
The applicants, no.
Okay, that's fine.
Because
Well,
of their connection with the people that have been arrested. The applicant's agent, though, has seen the CCTV.
Right.
So he has seen that, so fully aware of that CCTV coverage. But because the owner of the premises is linked to the employees, I think it's a bit of a risk.
Okay, thank you. Rebecca.
So sorry, Mark. So you're saying that the license holders shouldn't come into the private session, and that
I'll take sorry, Ben, to throw you in the deep end here. I don't know whether Inspector Morrison.
I mean, if possible, they should be there. But if the purpose is simply to show the CCTV and they've seen it, that's not too bad. But they ought to be there as much as possible.
Okay, all right. Unless Inspector Morrison is going to say any different, let's run with it. And yeah.
Okay, Ben, is there anything? Yeah.
No, thank you, Chair. No, sorry, Rebecca. I was just going to say that realistically, I can't see an issue with that. To be perfectly honest, the disclosure of the evidence has already taken place anyway, so there's nothing in it that will be new to anybody, from what I can tell.
Are you saying so? The other issue is whether to exclude the other parties, which the panel can do, and it might be appropriate just for a short period. I don't know whether you have any views on that. You know, so exclude the other parties, the councillors, and planning and licensing.
I would say yes. The need for that information to go that far, I don't see as a requirement of this hearing. The reasons the other people are on this, they kind of have their own reasons to put representation in. That's over and above the actual investigation itself. And
I think that's fair enough.
Better, really.
Okay.
And Rebecca, I'll back that up, and that I think we'd be sort of verging into sub judice at that point if we were to start disclosing things further and wider than unnecessary.
Yeah, so the panel can decide under Regulation 14 to go into private session based on those grounds and in the public interest. So if you're minded to do that, you can do that at the appropriate time.
Yes, I will. I'm going to be guided by Mark on this. Okay, Mark. So, would you like to start with your summary?
Cool. Good morning all, and thank you, Chair. So firstly, I'd like to give a summary of the two incidences that are referred to in the documents submitted, which I'm, like I say, happy to do in open session. I would then kind of request we go into closed session so that we can cover off this area of the review in more detail and produce the CCTV. So on the 1st of August 2025, police were called to Saffron North Road, Brighton at around 2:30 on Friday the 1st of August to a report of criminal damage and a staff member having been assaulted. A 63-year-old man from Brighton was spoken to at the scene and administered with a community resolution ordering him to pay for the damage. This was agreed by both parties at the time. Then on the 2nd of August 2025, arrests were made after a serious assault inside Saffron North Road, Brighton. On August the 2nd at around 3:30 a.m, officers were called to a report of a fight inside the venue, and a male in his 60s was found with serious injuries and an ambulance attended the scene. At the time, 3 men were arrested inside the premises on suspicion of causing grievous bodily harm, and following further inquiries, one of these males has since been released without charge, and a further male has been arrested. All 3 men have been released on conditional bail as the investigation continues. So if it's okay with you, Chair, now I'd like to go into closed session.
I'm muted. Before we do that, can I just ask, does anybody, before we go into closed session, anybody like to need to get any questions for clarification from Mark on what he's just said? So,
I know you're not naming names, but are we talking about the same person who was originally had a community resolution order and is then assaulted?
oh, Mark, you're muted.
Sorry. No, unfortunately, I can't name names at the moment, like you say. I'll let you get your own conclusion from what I've read out.
Okay. Any other questions before we boot you?
Okay, it's because I didn't get my conclusion that I asked you that. I don't need to know the name, but anyway, okay.
Okay. Now then, I will ask Frankie to please do the deed and exclude.
Yeah. So what I've done, rather than kick everybody out of this meeting, just because there is a sort of a rather large amount of people in this meeting, I've sent a separate invitation to the panel and to Mark and to the applicant as well, to a separate Teams meeting, which we might want to join now, just because it could present a bit of a logistical issue getting everybody back in after we're done with closed session. So I see that as the easiest way to proceed. So if we leave this meeting and move into the closed session meeting, you should have an invite for that now.
So I'll just say that it will be members of the panel, Frankie, who is is clerking the meeting, Rebecca, who is there as our legal advisor, and obviously Ben and Mark. Sorry, who have I got first? First of all,
Emily as well could come in.
Oh, Emily, sorry, yeah, Emily, yeah. It's just I'm looking at the invitation. It doesn't have everybody's names on it, but maybe. Yeah. Okay.
That's okay. I'm just updating it as we go along now.
Yeah,
so if we leave this meeting and move into that one.
Okay, Kerry.
Sorry, can I just confirm? We actually have to leave. We have to, and then rejoin again.
So
that would probably be the best course of action. Yeah. If we leave this one, you will have received an invite to a closed session meeting.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. Let's all. I'm going to shoot off now.
And if everybody else could just wait here. Thank you. There we are. We can proceed now. Thanks for the patience, folks.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you. We are now back in open session, and apologies for the time it was taken, but it's a very complicated and detailed case, and we really did need the time to speak, to hear the police's case from Mark, and the licensee's case from his representative. So now we're going to carry on with Mark putting forward his case as to why the police feel that this review is necessary. Over to you, Mark.
Thank you, Chair. We've gone over the incident that originally resulted in Sussex Police calling this review, and since doing so, we have looked back at the overall history of the premises, which further evidences why Sussex Police are asking for a revoke of this licence and that it is proportionate in this case. Within Appendix B1, from page 2 through to 6, we document our dealings with the premises and Mr. Habibi, which date back to November 2023. During this time, on the 17th of November 2023, at 23:49, with Mr. Habibi being involved in the business, they were found to be trading beyond 2300 without a valid premises licence. They stated at the time it was a busy night and they'd lost track of time. However, they had printed menus by the till displaying midnight opening hours, and the same on food ordering platforms. Just under 3 weeks later, they continued to advertise hours beyond 2300 on food ordering platforms and their own Facebook page. On the 23rd of December 2023, officers attended at 23:05 and found several customers seated and eating with venue lights on. But as soon as officers walked in, the staff were quick to turn the lights off and encourage customers to pay and leave. Officers at the time were advised that they were planning to apply for a late night licence, as that's a large part of their business. How would they know this is a large part of their turnover when they are meant to be closed by 2300 at that time? On the 7th of February 2024, the venue was still advertising hours beyond 2300, including on their own Facebook page. Eventually, they applied for a late night refreshments licence on the 18th of June 2024, which, due to objection from ourselves, went before a panel on the 20th of August 2024 and was granted. On the 8th of August 2024 at 23:50, so between the period of the application being submitted and the actual hearing, the venue was once again found open without a licence, because at that point we hadn't had the hearing. Since then, you will see on the timeline, we have had several complaints centred around noise issues linked to the venue and several breaches of the premises licence identified during inspection in January of this year. Mr. Habibi has responded to our review application, and this can be found under Appendix D. And I wish to just touch on some of the points he has raised. Regarding the CCTV timestamp, he confirms that the CCTV was incorrect, but it was corrected following the licence inspection in January 2025. But during the investigation of the incident on the 2nd of August 2025, it confirms that the CCTV timestamp was still incorrect, and we issued a breach of the licence. Regarding security, the condition on the licence is they should always have SIA on duty at the venue when it is opening beyond midnight. The statement within the documentation referred to leads us to believe this condition has not been adhered to. Further down in the document, it says that SIA is no longer an informal or ad hoc practice. It should not have been so in the first place. In early 2025, we have put steps in to address the. In early 2025, they state they have put steps in to address the noise complaints. However, the police have continued to receive complaints linked to the venue. Regarding BCRP, Mr. Habibi says, soon after the licence was granted, we enrolled in the Brighton and Hove Business Crime Reduction Partnership, BCRP, obtaining a night safe radio handset for communication with police and other venues. fulfilling the partnership membership condition. This is a programme that connects late night businesses like ours with the police and each other. Through BCRP, we will have access to the citywide radio network and information sharing about any individuals who are known to cause trouble around the town. Additionally, he states, one of the reasons we are increasing our collaboration with the Brighton Crime Reduction Partnership is specifically to stay informed about individuals with a history of causing issues in the area. Now, my comments on these statements are, first, it took 5 months for them to join BCRP. This was only in place on the 27th of January 2025, 17 days after our inspection highlighted that they were not members. So we would say this was not soon after the licence was granted, as Mr. Beebe states. And regarding their collaboration with BCRP, although they are members and have the radio, Mr. Beebe has not signed himself nor his staff up to the BCRP website. This needs to be done as it's a secure site, so there is no collaboration with BCRP, nor staying informed about individuals causing issues around the city. On checking with BCRP as well this morning, according to their systems, which we know systems can also, be wrong sometimes, but in theory, according to their system, their radio was turned off on the 4th of August and hasn't been turned on since. Much has been promised in the document, but the majority of this should have been in place already. We feel the statement is full of things he believes us and yourselves want to hear, with some untruths. We read with interest the paperwork submitted by immigration following their findings at the Crawley branch and findings of ourselves from the incident in August at the Brighton one. Finally, we need to consider today, are there any other options other than revoking the licence? There is no designated premises supervisor to remove, as this is just a late night refreshment licence, and it's not possible to remove the premises licence holder. There are no more conditions that could be added, and they have shown they can't or don't wish to adhere to the ones that are already on there. Reduced hours. This is something Mr. Habibi has offered up, a new closing time of 1 AM. Although we acknowledge this will reduce some of the public nuisance risks, we still have concern over the current and previous management of the venue and their ability to promote the licensing objectives. I remind you about the withholding of CCTV following the serious incident at the venue and the previous trading without a licence and condition breaches. You're going to hear from others in this hearing or have read about immigration and planning violations, as well as concerns raised by environmental protection and council licensing. As the supporting councillors and local member of the parliament allude to in their supporting reps, this is not a location for a late night licence. Mr. Habibi has demonstrated, along with others linked to the premises, that they are unable to trade responsibly, nor have an understanding or wish to actively promote the licensing objectives, resulting in breaches and other legislation violations, nuisance for residents. And let's not forget the reason that brought us here in the first place, the serious assault and withholding of evidence. We strongly believe that revoke is the only option here, and we kindly ask the panel to reach that conclusion. Thank you, Chair.
Sorry. Thank you very much, Mark. Now I'll open to questions. First of all, my colleagues on the panel, Sam and Kerry, do you have any further questions? Kerry.
Yeah, Mark, can you just confirm, so how long does it usually take for businesses to join the BCRP? You're on mute, Mark.
Sorry. You just go on their website and sign up and set up the direct debit, and then BCRP will come to the venue and leave the radio and give them instructions. And what you have to do is you have to then sign up to their website, which is a secure website where all the information that Mr. Habibi talks about in his document is then shared securely. But the fact that he's not signed up to that, nor signed up any of his staff, shows that he's not using that system.
Thank you. Can I also ask, so you're saying that you've had several complaints. Can I ask, are they from different residents, or is it just the same one or two residents but continually complaining?
Difficult for me to say on the information I have here. I'd have to go in and look exactly as to who is calling it in. I believe that they all come from pretty much the same block of residents.
Okay, thank you.
EP might be able to give you a bit more information, or the councillors themselves when they come to do their parts.
Okay.
Thanks.
Sorry, Mark. I just before actually, Sue. The next person. I don't know if Sam wants to say anything. Do you want to say anything, Sam?
No, Kerry stole my thunder.
Yeah. For those who don't know, could you tell us what the BCRP is?
Yeah, it's the Business Crime Reduction Partnership, who operate around the city for both daytime and evening economy things. So businesses pay into it, and they offer an awful lot of training. They offer a database which lets them know about people that are banned. We also jump on the back of it when we're looking for missing persons and wanted persons. There's a whole host of information there, and the venues are all linked in with a radio system, which when the police operate Operation Marble, we also take those radios out with us.
Yeah, I've actually been on one of the an Operation Marble and went to one of those briefings, which was very good. Actually, I have to say it's a really good initiative. Kerry, rather, sorry.
Sorry, can I just quickly ask? I know there has been a suggestion that drugs were being used or present on the premises. Did the police find any evidence of that?
No, I don't know where that comment from Mr. PB's come. He's put it in his statement, but I'm unsure why he's picked up on that, because I haven't mentioned it in our review documents to the best of my knowledge. We haven't done any swabbing. We haven't gone there at all looking for drugs or anything. So I'm unsure where that's come from.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, so does any Donna, do you want to say anything? Is she still here? Yeah, there we go.
Sorry, no, thank you.
Thank you. Sue.
Just a question, really. So when you're talking about the license, the normal time of the license finishing for eating would be 11. Is that correct? So at the moment they've got till 3. They're suggesting they might want to stay open till 1.
Yeah,
but we're not talking about the license is about the extension to the normal hours license. So is that after 11? Is that correct?
That's correct. So between
Right,
2300 and 0500, anybody who wants to do hot food or hot drinks has to have a premises license for late night refreshments.
Okay, but they will be able to, whatever happened, they carry on with their normal till 11.
Until 2300, where they should be, if the license is revoked or they follow the planning on the premises.
Okay.
Okay. So would anybody else like to, particularly Habibi, would you like to ask Mark any questions?
Yes. So it's just about the radio is shut because we are not opening since what happened on the 2nd of August. We are closing every day 11. So that's why there is the radio is off. But we are still paying our direct debit there and to the radio. And what else? Like basically everything is provided, but we are not operating until 3 in the morning since what happened.
Sorry, are there any further questions you would like to ask of Mark?
Any questions?
Question? No.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Okay. Now, I will now hand over to Donna to make the case for the licensing authority.
Thank you, Chair. I've made this representation on behalf of the Council's licensing team in their capacity as a responsible authority in relation to an application made by Sussex Police seeking to review the premises licence for Saffron. A copy of this representation can be seen at pages 41 to 66 of today's papers. This representation is made as the licensing team have concerns that the licence objective of the prevention of crime disorder and the prevention of public nuisance are not being upheld. The history of this matter is explained in more detail in the application for Sussex Police. Following my submitted representation, I have nothing further to add. However, if you wish for me to clarify anything or answer any questions, I'm happy to do so. Based on the number of representations that have been submitted, including from immigration, planning, environmental protection, MP and councillors on behalf of the residents, it is my opinion that these premises have clearly demonstrated that they are not operating under the conditions attached to the premises licence, continue to trade past their permitted hours, and based on the number of complaints received are causing a public nuisance to the surrounding residents. I have no confidence in the management of the running of the premises, despite their supplementary evidence and reassurances on pages 79 to 94 of the agenda and offer of reduced hours. The licence team fully supports the application submitted by Sussex Police and invites the licensing panel to revoke the premises licence. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Donna. Would any of my colleagues on the panel, Sam and Kerry, have you any questions of Donna?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you very much. What about? Oh, sorry, Mark. Have you got any questions?
No, thank you, Chair.
Okay. Oops, sorry, I'm losing track of who's on the thing now. Anybody else? Is there anybody else present who would like to ask questions? So,
sorry, I'm just trying to clarify this for myself. So are they also able at the moment to do takeaways past 11 o'clock? And is that something that the licensing are asking for it not to be the case, or?
So at the moment they still have the premises license as
yes, okay, but I mean in the future.
So in the future, obviously if the license is revoked, then unless the premises object to the revocation, they can still continue to trade up until the existing license. If the premises chooses to appeal against the decision, then yes, they can continue to trade past 11 until it's heard in an appeal court.
Sorry, yeah, okay. But in terms of delivery, takeaway deliveries, is that also covered by this license? Because, yeah.
But the one they've got now, the existing one, yes.
So if it's revoked, it would stop deliveries after 11 as well as being open for inside. Okay, fine. That was my question. Wow.
Okay. Any more questions? No? Okay, I will now move on to Emma in planning. Would you like to put forward the planning case, please? Thank you.
Morning, Chair and everyone. Okay, as part of my premises license, as part of any premises license application since August 2022, the planning department have been consulted. When a review of Saffron's premises license was raised, I checked the council system to see what current planning permission there is for this address. And there is still an extant, which is still current planning permission from 2010. And the hours they should be open are 8 AM to 11 PM Monday to Friday, 8 AM to 11:30 PM on a Saturday, and 9 AM to 11 PM Sundays and bank holidays. This restaurant is the same planning class use as what was there before, and they should not be open past 11 PM or 11:30 on Saturdays. If the restaurant were to open past these conditioned hours of opening in the future, then the planning enforcement team, myself, may strongly consider further action for this breaching of the conditioned hours. This would mean by serving a breach of condition notice, there's no right of appeal against this notice, and if breached in the future, the council may prosecute the responsible person at Brighton Magistrates Court. The previous use was a deli cafe, as I said, same planning class use. These hours were set due to the location of the property in a high residential area and was to save, sorry, hang on, in a residential area and was to safeguard the local amenities, the local area, and to comply with planning policies SU10 and QD27. QD27 is still within the current City Plan Part 2 as DM20. It's one of the main planning policies. This policy prevents material nuisances and the loss of amenities to local residents. This is why the previous business was conditioned to close at those times to prevent any excessive noise, artificial lighting and annoyance to local residents. Finally, planning acknowledged that this is a separate regime to licensing. However, it is felt that the breach of the conditioned opening hours is a contributing factor for licence having to be reviewed. The planning department were unaware that there was a breach of planning control at the restaurant, and to prevent any future possible complaints from local residents that fall within the licensing objective of the prevention of public nuisance, I support the review brought by the police on the grounds of prevention of crime and disorder and the prevention of public nuisance. And also, just to let you know, on the 14th of August, I emailed the owner, Saffron Limited, and the registered person. They were informed of the hours and when they should be closing, and I requested that they adhere to these opening hours. Otherwise, I may have to take further enforcement action by server notice. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Emma. Can I just ask, did you get a response that to that letter? No. Okay. That's great. Thank you. If you wouldn't mind staying on, because some of us might want to ask questions. So just to confirm that you that with a breach of condition notice, what evidence do you require for a breach of condition notice? Has it got to be somebody? Has it got to be somebody actually seeing it happen, or can it be done retrospectively? Or
yeah, the hours, the conditioned hours have been breached consistently, but from the 14th of August onwards, they were informed officially. So if they breach those conditioned hours from then, any evidence, police visit, residents, anything opening after those hours, if it's consistently open, then I would serve a breach of condition notice.
Okay. If we were to grant, a license until say 1 a.m.
Then I would serve a breach of condition notice. I would strongly have to consider it.
But what they could do, what the premises, the licensee could do is apply for planning permission to change. And
they could do, but I'm not inviting an application because those hours were set because of the location of North Road around residential streets. They can submit an application, right, and a planning officer will determine it, but it's very unlikely to get approved.
Okay, thank you for that. And obviously, if the license was approved, they wouldn't be able to operate in those hours until if and when they get planning permission. So exactly, anything that they do outside of those hours is a separate breach. And just to confirm to everybody that we've got two regimes running side by side, licensing and planning. And planning could take their own enforcement, and it wouldn't have an impact on licensing. That's great. Thank you very much. Would anybody else like to ask questions of Emma in terms of planning?
No, thank you.
Yeah, Sam? Sue or Mitchie? No, okay. Mark?
No, thank you, Chair.
Okay. Donna?
Thank you, Chair.
Okay. And finally, to Mr. Habibi, is there anything that you would like to ask the planning officer, or you or your
sure. The only thing is we were confused about the planning permission in the licensing team. So, and you said that you didn't get respond. Like, honestly, I emailed like 3 emails, different people, like with the licensing team, that I'm very confused. To someone let me know, shall I open it? And I didn't get respond back for my email, that I'm very confused here. and I don't think there is anything to be changed for planning permission because everything is working nicely. So it's basically just the hour they need to increase for me kindly. And I didn't know what to tell you because it was me actually confused about 2 different decisions, and I didn't get response back. Yeah.
I never received an email from you.
3 different people. We even did call as well. Yeah. Yeah, we even did call. So I don't know. And the manager is here as well, friend of mine. So we didn't know that what to do with that. So if we wanted to increase the numbers of that planning permission, basically, but everything is ready here to operate till late. Yeah.
Unfortunately, you don't have planning permission past 11:30 on a Saturday. You can, as I said to the chair, you can submit a retrospective planning application, but until that's decided, I'm advising you to stay as per the conditioned hours.
This is something very new, honestly, for everyone, and everyone got so confused with this. This is new experience for me. So kindly, I mean, I can appeal to increase the numbers of the planning permission because we are ready to operate.
It's a separate regime. That's what the lady's saying.
Right.
We will deal with planning separately.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions for Emma?
No, Chair.
No, that's great. Thank you very much indeed, Emma. Nice to meet you, and I'm sorry that we kept you waiting, but you can go off and have your lunch now if you haven't already. Thanks. Okay, now after that, I've now got Sue. If Sue would like to make her, oh, sorry, Rebecca.
Well, no, I was just thinking there isn't anyone from Environmental Protection, is that right?
No.
Okay, well then
No,
that's, sorry,
but
yeah,
we
that's
still,
fine then.
Yeah. Okay, Sue.
Okay, so I mean, basically, you've heard, I'm sure, already about some of this. So I've had complaints since back in late 2024. I mean, I would like to say at the beginning that when I have called into Saffron a couple of times, explained that residents are unhappy. You know, I've always been met with very friendly responses, and you know, so it's yes, personally, I haven't. Obviously experienced bad behaviour in there. It's always seemed very quiet and people are eating, but that was during the day. And the issue is that people late at night who live opposite, and it's interesting that it didn't get planning for that because it is quite a residential area. There's a big block of housing just opposite. So the complaints included doors opening and music playing really loud, quite, you know, most of the evening and late at night, so children trying to sleep and people standing outside in the street talking loudly, slamming car doors, and obviously some of that, you know, is residents complaining, but also I think going to complain to the premises, that you've been hearing about that from the police. The last July I had quite a lot of complaints. It was very hot and people were having to keep their windows open, so the noise from, you know, people outside the shop was very loud. I mean, when I went to meet some residents, and then afterwards I called in to Saffron, as I said, and then I also called in at the pub, which is just down the road, who also I think have a late license, but nobody seems to have complained about them. I think it is the issue about people outside the restaurant, or people eating late and then, you know, hanging around outside or even inside but making a lot of noise. So, you know, it became quite fractious, obviously, as you've heard, and people felt that, you know, they were getting abuse when they tried to remonstrate about the noise outside. They did say, and I think that may be where the drugs issue came in, was that that was what some of the residents felt, but I haven't got any other evidence for that as well. I mean, it's a busy street, and we've had a lot of problems on that street with drug use, etc., often linked to William Collier House. Obviously not necessarily the residents there, but you know, people waiting outside the shop, yeah, that's sort of circumstantial in a way. So I do think really that, you know, from listening to all the residents and also listening to what I've heard today, which is quite new information to me about planning, that you know, I know that there were also attacks on staff there, but I think it's not the right place for that sort of, well, certainly it's nowhere in the city it's the right place for people, you know, being obnoxious to other people. But in that particular incident, it is quite a residential street. I mean, I don't think you necessarily realise it when you walk down it, but on one side of it, you've got North Place and a lot of residents in there. So, you know, that's why residents objecting. Some of them didn't feel that they wanted to come in person, you know, because they were just concerned about putting themselves in the limelight. But I know that the MP has also had complaints, because we've sort of, you know, they've been going back to different people, and obviously Councillor Alexander as well. So I think somebody asked earlier how many people it is. It's difficult to know, isn't it? I met with a group of met with a woman and her 2 children and a friend of hers and another neighbour who was away at the time. So, you know, it's probably not, there are a lot of people who don't get involved in that sort of thing and don't want to complain. But, you know, I think there are some legitimate concerns there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. So I was going to ask you that, but you've answered it already. And yes, I do, and that's the thing. People don't like making complaints, but I think from environmental protection, we've got quite a few incidences of late night noise and so on. Thanks, Sue. Would anybody like to ask Sue any questions? No. Okay. No questions for Sue. Thank you very much, Sue. Mitchie, you're next on my list.
So, as I said before, one of the nearby residents, reached out to me as I knew them from when I used to work for a local family project a couple of years ago, and they were very keen to be represented, but they're too afraid to represent themselves as they didn't want to be identified. So local residents have told me, of course, this is what I've been told. Local residents have told me that they've witnessed drug dealing going on around the premises. I also understand that a vulnerable local male resident and the staff in the shop do not get along. The shop staff do all they can to wind this man with mental health issues up. Recently, he was so upset by things that they were saying to him that he threw a chair at their window. This, of course, is not an action that should be tolerated, but rather than phoning the police, it's been said that 4 men from the shop took their revenge by attacking him physically the following night. He was very badly attacked and suffered being kicked in the head. His neighbours are very upset about this incident. They all care what happens to this man. After the incident, he was too scared to return home and had to stay with a family member. The nearby residents also say that the shop has continually broken its licence by often staying open to 5 a.m. The residents living close by say they do not feel safe. The local residents have stated that they feel unsafe to look out of their window as they feel afraid that the staff will think they are spying on them. This includes teenagers and children who live opposite. The residents state that their sleep is negatively impacted due to the comings and goings of cars and motorbikes visiting the shop during the nighttime hours. They state that vehicles will hoot their horns. The very fact that the residents are in fear of retribution from the staff, as they are aware that Saffron staff and those who visit the Saffron shop late during the nighttime hours are aware that it's the residents nearby that have complained about the antisocial activities surrounding the shop. This includes violence, menacing behaviour, noise from vehicles and breaking their licence, etc. It has been stated to me that various children who live by won't look out of their windows because of fear of the staff and the visitors. No child should be afraid to look out of the windows of their own home. These same children are now even afraid as they have heard that their neighbour had been badly attacked. whether or not the men were charged. Children living in the social housing flats opposite are in the belief that these men nearly killed their friend who has mental health problems, but they also see him as being a kind neighbour also. No child should live in fear in their own home. And then I also received this email from another resident. This was sent to me at the this was sent to me on Sunday, the 31st of August. Last night was awful again. I'm too worried to put my head out or go over the road and complain. I've had their friends or relations, a group of boys, on several occasions bang at my window and laughed. I've often heard my neighbours ask them to move on. I've called a few times last summer when it was bad, but nothing happened. I called the council and was told they know and are dealing with it. It has never been dealt with. We had drilling till 1:30 in the morning a month ago, and a week later some building noise. Last week there was loud music playing. They don't close the doors or ask people to go inside at the weekend. People just sit outside the shop banging sticks. I'm not quite sure what that means, but that's what they've written. Sometimes staff are standing outside with customers laughing. The staff and friends are loud. They beep their cars, they holler in the streets. Motorbikes are meeting up, they're beeping. Some nights, no, there aren't any customers, but they're groups of friends. The shop stays open till 5, but it looks like they're closing down and cleaning for 2 hours, but they have people still coming in and out. They bang and clean with the doors open. I spoke to my neighbour today to see what's going on, as there were people outside my window shouting, "Which one is it? Which one complained? Come out then." It was awful and scary. My children are exhausted and come home after school and fall asleep. They suffer at school all year. Last week there was a fight and people were smashing glass. I know another neighbour complained and ended up in a mental health hospital as he kept being approached by people that now lurk there. I'm now trying to get moved. Last night was awful, intimidating and scary. When all my neighbour did was call the kebab shop nicely to close the door and ask people to go in or move, they ended up shouting at my window with threats. The shop shouldn't tell them where we live. I need this dealt with. It has made me so unwell, and my children are ill and tired. We hear horrible language. Some nights lots of taxis with the men outside talking. Some nights it seems empty and calm, and then out of the blue 3 motorbikes will turn up and shout about. I know my neighbour's been trying everything she can, but she is ill and also can't work over this. We cannot take any more. They've also been filming mine and a neighbour's windows. We've made several reports to police for drug dealing and threats and abuse. We are desperate to move. My kids don't feel safe. They hardly sleep. Every time I close or open my curtains and windows, I get stared at by them. The music is always on. People are always talking loudly. My son said he would rather be in a hotel. What sort of life is that for a child? He doesn't feel safe in his own home. My daughter feels the same. We are terrified. We were living here for 7 years before Saffron opened up. Please help us. We've given multiple reports against them for drug dealing, intimidation, taking pictures and showing customers our windows. My kids can't sleep. It's too noisy. I now need the council to move us. And that completes my presentation.
Thanks, Mitchie. That's very interesting. And I understand why people don't like, people are afraid. And thank you very much for bringing this to our attention. Anybody have any questions? No.
No, thank you, Chair.
Yeah, I just want to ask the councillor a question. Chair, if I may, if I can ask the councillor, have you actually got any evidence at all to support the comments, councillor? Given that the police have said they've not had any concerns about drugs at this venue.
No, I don't have evidence. This is what the local residents have been telling me. So I don't actually have any evidence.
I I would ask the
that
panel to
is
bear
their
that in mind.
feelings. That is whether
Okay.
it's right or wrong. That's what they feel. They're feeling scared.
Well, obviously, you'll expect me to take the course we're going to take. We refute, Chair, all the allegations made.
Is nothing true. We cannot say something from our premises. Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mark, is there anything you'd like to ask of Mitchie? I know you've got to go soon.
Yeah, no, thank you, Chair. I mean, all I would say about the drugs thing is, like I say, we have not been to that venue and done any drug swabbing, but we know obviously there are drug dealing going on around. Whether it's happening near the premises or not, I don't know, but I can confirm the actual venue itself. We have not been there and done any swabbing, or I can't sit here with any evidence to say the venue itself is involved in dealing. But that's not to say it's not happening within the location.
Thank you very much. No, I've already canvassed for questions. Thank you very much, Mitchie. That was very informative. Thank you. Now I'll move on to the licensee to make the case for not having, for this licensing review.
Obviously, Chair, the matters we've discussed in closed session we can't refer to. You're aware of our position on that. What I can tell you with regards to the noise and other things is obviously our clients are taking robust action now. Before I go on to talk about that, I table the request or the offer that was made by Mr. Habibi before to cease the provision of late night refreshments and to close the restaurant at 1 o'clock the following day all week. So that is our suggestion, because we believe that will address the issues of noise, etc., that the residents have raised and other people have raised. It will also bring us in line with the pub next door but one, so we won't have any risk of people coming in later who may have been drinking heavily. I stress that this venue does not tolerate the presence of alcohol on the premises. We do not sell alcohol and have no intention to do so. We are also accepting the conditions that if members are minded not to revoke the licence, and we hope you won't, but the Environmental Protection, Mr. Emiri, has proposed a number of conditions which our clients accept would be placed onto the licence if it's allowed to remain with the reduced hours. But I would stress that he's mentioned times of 7 o'clock in the morning and 10 o'clock at night. Of course, given that the licence only impacts and is effective between 11 and 5, we would ask that the conditions, if you do impose them, would be 11 till 5 within that span. Obviously, in this case, it would be 11 till 1 because they would close at 1 anyway. So those offers are on the table. We also propose, with regards to residents having expressed concerns about coming here, we're going to put a phone number on the front door for residents to ring in with, and we would also be willing to have meetings with residents representatives every, say, 6 months to discuss any issues or concerns they may have. So it opens up direct contact between them if they feel they want to do that. Alternatively, as I said, they'll have the phone number to ring in on. So that's the changes we're making on that. Now, I can tell you that they've got I'm sitting in the restaurant now. They've got a clear window apart from the bits they have to have on show, so the staff can, and the door staff can see clearly what's going on to the side. We've got a range of windows there. There's a full window at the front so we can see what's going on. They do now actually ask their customers to move away from the premises. You'll appreciate they have no jurisdiction in the street. Even the SIA don't. It's only the police and the PCSOs or your enforcement officers would have that jurisdiction, but they do go out now and politely ask people to move away. Issues about parking. I was here last night. The door, not the door supervisor, the delivery drivers park down the road now, so they're parking legally, not on double yellows, not blocking the junction, etc., etc. So those issues are being addressed and have been addressed. You've heard us. We've got the two door supervisors here. Two of the staff have SIA licenses to act as door supervisors. When they are doing that role, they are not serving in the restaurant. They are just dedicated to the door role for that period of time. They will be asking customers to move away. If they start eating outside, they'll be told to move away from the frontage of the restaurant and to sort of take their food home and not eat it out here. So the issues are being addressed, and it's fair to say Mr. Habibi has taken the line that he has quietly taken all along. He's only been the director here since February 25, so wasn't responsible personally prior to anything that happened before then. But he's now taking firm control of it. The offenders, the people that we don't talk about no longer work here. You've heard from one of the councillors, the staff are friendly. They're not hostile as has been made out. They're all friendly. I've spoken to all of them. We've dealt with the riders, with the delivery people. And for the record, of course, there is no dine-in. There seems to be some confusion on that. There is no dine-in service after 11 at night. This licence is conditioned so that after 2300, 11 p.m, it is only available for customer collection and for home delivery. There's no dine-in service, so there is no reason for people to loiter in the area after if they're doing a collection, after they've picked up their order. We can send them on their way home. So we've covered those points. We do believe strongly that the idea of having the close time at 1 o'clock will reduce the noise nuisance that residents have complained about and other antisocial behaviour issues. Those are not connected to this restaurant. It is a restaurant, not a bar. So there is no alcohol here. And the management now, if somebody comes to the door and the doorman at that time of night thinks they've been drinking, they will not be admitted to the premises. Whether or not they go home and order, that's fine. But on top of the fact that these two SIA that they've got on the books have had the conflict management training as part of their SIA course, 2 others of the staff have been on the conflict management, and the other 3 will be going shortly. So those are being dealt with. We are members of the BCRP, as you've heard. They didn't realise they had to go on the website. Sometimes things aren't made clear enough to people, but they will be doing that today or latest by tomorrow. So they've got their links and all the rest of it. They are, as you've heard, members of the mobile support units. They do have the radio. Regarding planning, yes, that was a shock, and I think Mr. Habibi's expressed his shock over that. I think that was a genuine oversight. I don't think it was deliberate. They are complying with that at the moment. They have been closing, as you've heard, for some time now at 11 o'clock, 2300. If the licence is allowed to continue until, we hope, 1 o'clock, they will apply for a variation of conditioned hours and take that further through the planning system. I've got a colleague who can help them with that. He is a planning consultant. So they are doing actively everything they can now to make sure that everything is done properly with respect for residents. A lot of these things that are being said are untrue. There's no evidence to support it. There is definitely no drug dealing in this venue. The police have no evidence, and they'd be the ones we have to look to, both yourselves and us. There probably is any town, any city in England where they don't do drug dealing, unfortunately. And I say that as an ex-customs officer. It happens, but not in this restaurant. And I would just make a point in closing, if I may, Chair, that people, I understand people concerned about noise, etc., but when you live in the middle of a vibrant city, and this is a city we love coming to regularly, we do other work here apart from this restaurant. It's a place that people come to. There is going to be noise in any city centre, town centre. So it's got to be a balance between the rights of the residents and the right of a legitimate business that's paying tax and council, business rates, etc., to operate successfully, not in a way that they can't make a profit. So they're pulling their weight now. We're asking you to give them a chance. Mistakes were made. We've accepted that. We're asking you to give them a chance, reduce the hours to 1 o'clock, and we will put those additional conditions in place to engage with the residents, the phone number and the offer of regular meetings with residents or their representatives. Thank you. Is there anything you want to eat, Mr. Habib?
I want to add things. We never can dare, or our staff members, to say something to the neighbors on the window that what you looking and all that. This is not true at all, honestly. I cannot allow my staff member to say that. This is a completely false statement, like whoever made it. So basically, I spoke to the neighbors. The immediate neighbors, they don't have a complaint about us. So this one person, I think, is the same person who made this big statement, false statement against us, is the person who brainwashed that the mental man. She is the one sent this mental man, to our shop, which he was not at all.
Chair, sorry,
affected.
Chair, can we're going into this investigation and
Yeah,
in a
sure.
public
So
forum.
I'll go to the different things now. So
Yeah, sorry, I think, sorry, can you, I think also, basically making allegations that people are lying as well. I don't think it works. I don't think that's in your favour to say that. I think, I really think we should hold off on that sort of.
Okay, so I come to a different thing. Sorry for that.
Yeah.
So
No, okay.
About the police. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. I've got Sam and then Sue, and then if you've got and Kerry. So yeah, Sam.
I guess my question goes to, we're hearing a lot about the things that have been put in place now. I guess my question goes to why some of this hasn't already been in place. This feels like a list of things that haven't been done and have been ignored, and things that are part of your license condition. And I accept that it isn't always easy to understand things, but I am concerned about why it's only now that the review has come that we are seeing these things put in place. And there does seem to be one reason after another as to why these things haven't been done in the past. And that does give me pause for thought.
So should I say?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah. So what it was, the repeatedly, with the time when I start this business first, we never applied for the license. Since we got this license, we never opened after 2:30 operating. 2:30 was the last day. So what happened before the license, it was very new business. We didn't know what's going on. So police tell us not to do this, and we listened to the police. We were not doing that. So that's very clear. But then since we got the license, we got educated about what we need to do and what we not need to do. Then we were not opening after 2:30. So the very old stuff should not bring after we granted license. So we never did any fault about opening the restaurant after our time, 3 p.m. So we were closing always 2:30 a.m. 2:30 a.m. Yeah. So honestly, we were really looking, to listening to the police council. Music. Okay, no music were playing. The door was shut after 11 p.m. Every day we were working so much on our staff or customers. These things are basically raised up against us. Honestly, we were working very good with our license.
I just think there's been a lot of talk about, now people don't park on double yellow lines and they don't park illegally, they park down the road. I mean, that's, what you said very clearly. I mean, that should never have been happening in the first place. So I am kind of concerned about some of the behaviours that were, were being allowed to happen. And now we're being told, now as if somehow the fact that people don't park illegally is something to be applauded.
Parking on double yellow, people do get tickets from the council. They give them fine, first thing. And if you go on Western Road, there are so many restaurants, 24/7.
This is every case is looked at on its own merits. I mean, at the moment, your restaurant is opposite a large block of social housing, and that which has been there for over 20 years. And and the shop that the premises you're operating on actually used to sell foam.
Right. So what we are doing?
Yeah. Sorry, can I just say that what you've answered? I think you've answered Councillor Parrott's question. I think we need to move on, because what you're doing, I think what you're doing is making a case rather than answering questions. Sue, I'll just quickly go to Rebecca.
Yeah.
No, through you, Chair, I'm just conscious that the police, Mark said he had to leave at 1:15,
Yes,
so
he
I
does,
wonder
yeah.
whether it might be appropriate to let him ask any questions. And
Absolutely.
I mean,
yeah.
one option for the panel is to adjourn. I mean, that is an option, but I don't know if the police are asking you to do that. But that is an option.
No, I think
open.
we need to make a decision today. Mark, thanks for reminding me, Rebecca. Sue and Kerry, I'll just let Mark come in with any questions that he's got, if he has any.
No, I don't have any, to be honest with you.
I know this is outside of the normal sort of procedure, but perhaps I could ask Mark if he would like to give his summary. Is that okay, Rebecca?
I mean, I can do, but I'm happy for another 10 minutes. It's not till 15:15 that I need to come off of this. So I'm happy to give you another 10 minutes.
Okay, well, maybe just chip in when you're ready to give the summary, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sue.
Sorry, I'm still a bit confused about this license, because I thought it was a eating in license, but now I mean, that is the main complaint that we get about lots of premises, like on London Road, and and I don't think the parking really is a responsibility of the venue, but anyway. But are we just talking about, so after 11 o'clock, just so I'm clear, we're talking about people who are ordering food and coming to collect it, or Deliveroo coming and collecting it, not eating in. So does the license allow people to eat in after 11 o'clock?
The license at the moment, current license.
Hang on, sorry, Sue.
Sorry, that's the license.
I'm asking. Yeah. I'd like to ask Emily O'Donnell about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Emily, would you like to respond to that?
Really.
Yeah, I do. I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. So the current licence does not permit dining after 2300. So it's takeaway and delivery only between 2300 until 0300.
Okay, so that is why I suppose we're getting all the complaints about people outside rather than inside. Right, I'm a bit clear about that. I think that was, I mean, maybe it did say it in the papers, maybe just I'd always assumed that people were going in, and I think that was some of the residents initially were saying, oh, people are in there, they're eating inside, and but anyway, the license is just for, so at 11 it's after that people have to come and collect. And I mean, the behaviour of delivery drivers is notorious throughout the city, to be honest. I know that we're talking about this licence.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. Yes. No. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Kerry, would you like to come with your question, please?
Thank you. Yeah, I'd just like to go back to what Councillor Parrott was saying. So, Mr. Habibi, do you think you have a clear idea of what the licensing objectives are?
Sorry, Mr. Habibi was talking to me. Did somebody ask a question? I didn't catch it.
I did, yes. I'll repeat it.
Thank you.
It's just to go back to what Councillor Parrott was saying. My question is, does Mr. Habibi think he has a clear idea of what the licensing objectives are?
You know what the license objectives are?
License objective. Okay, people, we are not dining in after 11, 23 hours. No one is eating inside. Yeah. And the collection are not outside. People are not waiting outside. They are inside the restaurant, and our chairs are picked up. It's on the top of the table. So everybody, the driver, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
The drivers are inside.
Sorry, can I just interrupt? Kerry actually asked you if you were aware of what the licensing objectives are.
What is objective?
Yes, we are aware of
Can you know what? Can you tell us what they are?
Premises school take away the party.
Okay, so we are basically using it for takeaway. After 11.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
Can you tell us because we asked you if you understood what the licensing objectives were, And I wonder if you, because there are specific objectives, which is why we're here, and we will judge your application on whether we think that you are that you are keeping to those objectives. So what we'd like to know is, it's nothing to do with tables or chairs. It's nothing to do. It's just, do you know what they are?
So they are basically pick-up delivery, no dining.
No.
There are 4 licensing objectives.
4 licenses.
Yes, and the chair is asking, do you know what they are?
That's so much.
I can't tell you because
yeah. Sorry, honestly, I don't know, like, what does that mean, to be honest? Yeah.
It means that if you're operating a premises, and you want to go beyond for late night refreshment, you have to make sure that you are sticking to the objectives of the licensing.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's really concerning that you have had this licensed premises for over a year or nearly a year, and you have other premises, and you aren't able to tell us as the licensing members of the licensing committee what those objectives are.
So basically, we need to have security here. That's what you mean, yeah. And
well, it's not exactly. I think what we're asking is for you to tell us what the licensing objectives are.
Public safety
Okay.
That chair is
just translating the question.
That is the manager speaking. He knows what the objectives are.
Okay, can I move on from that then?
Yeah.
Can I just ask, so you've got a business in Crawley, Saffron Crawley as well. How long have you had that business?
So it was previously different people, they were running it, but I'm running it since March this year.
Okay.
April or something.
So these 2 businesses are fairly new for you?
Well, I started at the very beginning. That's what I wanted to clear. And then I gave up because we had lost in the business, and because of some problems. Like, that was a business things, nothing to do with the license or anything like that. So I gave up, and then I joined again the company.
Can I ask, so some of the residents have complained about noise from building in the early hours of the morning. Can you confirm if that happened?
No, nothing happened like what the complaint what's the name? She said, like there isn't anything like that.
Okay. Can I ask what your relationship was with the residents, the local residents, before you got your later license? So when you still had your license, when you were still closing at 11, what was your relationship with with the residents then?
Very good relationship with everyone we have. We don't know there is anything we have done something bad with anyone. So there is no other relationship.
So you didn't get any complaints before then?
No, as I say, honestly, and I need to clear this, is one person matter. This is the whole complaints are from one person.
Okay.
And we were not, honestly, I will be very honest. I just need to finish here.
Can I ask?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, we do need to move things.
I've got one really quick question.
Yeah,
sorry. So it's just to do with your cleaning. I know you're saying that you close the main restaurant at 11 o'clock and then you can continue with deliveries. Can I ask, so you can start cleaning down then, so why is it taking so long to clean everything?
It takes 1 hour. I pay for 1 hour to after we close. So 1 hour cleaning. It takes 1 hour cleaning. So that's it. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I think Mark, would you? Yeah, you've got your hand up, Mark. I can see.
Yeah, sorry, can I just quickly ask a question on the back of Councillor Pickett's question about the building work? So are you saying the building work there was no building work going on?
No, once there was, we closed for the whole day. We put some tiles here, on the roof. So one day, you know, we were thinking that our license, the door was shut, everything was shut. So we did work until 10 p.m. And honestly, I thought maybe we got the license till this time. We didn't work after 10 p.m. the building work, but that was inside the building. But we did spoke about it that okay, has to be after, not after 6 p.m.
Right, but your agent has said that the complaints that have been made by the two councillors are not substantiated by witness statements, etc., etc. Now, in my further two, on the 3rd of July at 05:45 in the morning, off-duty licensing officer was walking along North Road, Brighton, and was distracted by loud building work noise, type of noise, which was odd for that time of the morning, and noticed it was coming from Saffron.
No, it can't happen.
Yeah.
There is no way. I'm aware
I
of it.
walked past and there was noise. Your front door was open. You had a car parked outside on double yellow lines, and there was building noise coming from inside your premises.
Right.
I'm
so
putting that on record, and it's in writing. I can confirm that that was the case, because I was shocked by hearing noise that time of the morning, walking up, which obviously it showed me to my, you know, it came to my attention.
Right. So you recorded or something happened, like anything?
I witnessed it.
Sorry. I think what we have to do now, because we are running out of time, particularly for Mark. Mark, could you, because obviously it's just going to be you two, you know, you saying this didn't happen, you know, everything that we've raised, you said didn't happen. Mark, would you like to put forward your summary so that we can let you go?
Will do, and thank you, Chair. I'll keep it short. We have a premises licence holder here who has not trained his employees when it comes to conflict management, a requirement of the licence, and especially when it's a late night, so risk conflicts are higher, who has admitted to withholding CCTV of an incident, who, despite being advised not to, carried on trading beyond 2,300 hours prior to obtaining their licence, who once obtained a licence was breaching most of the conditions within it. A licence holder has also breached planning requirements and become a public nuisance in regards to noise linked to this venue, as read from ourselves, Environmental Protection and the local councillors. Immigration have raised concerns about another venue that is linked to Mr. Habibi, with one of the illegal workings confirming that Mr. Habibi employed them. We argue that this is an individual and a location that should not hold or have a late night premises licence, and we kindly ask the panel to revoke it. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you very much, Mark. I think we can let you go now. Thank you. Thank you. Rebecca, could you bring me back on track, please? Because we've had the
I think we're still looking at questions for the licence holders.
Okay. Any more questions for the licence holder? Any more questions? Carrie?
I've just got one more. I just wanted to ask, sorry, I'm not sure if they can hear me. Are you there? Can you tell me why there are so many changes with your directorships, and why have they changed so often? And quite often it's the same person coming back. Why does this keep happening? It seems quite unusual.
We start this business with partnership, and I lost a lot of money in here to establish. The time we are here now, I struggle a lot. For the last 3-4 years, I did struggle, and in the middle, I did give up. You know, I did get stressed about you know, the business partner, the partnership, basically. You know how it works. Like, people are unfair. You're a business partner. These were the issues with the business partners. So someone left, we paid him, and then I left, and then I came back. That was the reason. It was a business thing, like with the business partners. It was not about the license. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are we now? Donna, thank you.
Sorry, yes. Can I just ask you to re-clarify? You said you only had joined the business in 2025. Is that right? You had no involvement.
No. I just say that I was the one started at the beginning with Shafiq Babak, as you can see, the director, and then later on with Faisal. We didn't have license until 3 in the morning, and we were very new to the business. So yeah, I admit, like, you know, once we were not really sure. We were very new in the business, so before we granted license, okay, they came 11:30 and we were basically open. So since we were granted license, we never broke the law. And then I was not in the middle there. I left. So I joined again and I bought it again, and then I repaid to the business again. Someone left, yeah. So in the middle, in those last 4 years, I gave up and then I came back.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just ask,
Yeah.
sorry, Donna, do you want to come back on that, or?
I just wanted to quickly just clarify that you are aware that I was the person who caught you trading without a license.
Yes,
And I have also sent you warnings since you've been back on the license regarding complaints.
Right.
You said you've never received complaints, but you can confirm you received my emails.
Complaints, okay. As I told you, it's the same thing I said. When I started at the beginning of this business, some officer came from the council. We were very new in the business. We didn't know. So it was until 11:30 or something, it was there that probably we were open, like something like that. And it was quite busy as well. So, and then I gave up, and since we granted the license after 11, we never break the law. Honestly, we were very careful. We were educated for that. Yeah.
So you never received any warnings from me about breaches?
The one complaint, that email, the email you received, and then the police reached me. The police reached me, and I went to the police station, and they told me simply, like, you know, you need to have a security. You don't need to have a noise. They told me, and I promised them that it's not going to happen. And we were going very smoothly for the whole this year since we granted license. And we appreciate that license, and it worked very good for us. It can pay our bill, and we can survive this business to carry on.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe you'd like to refresh yourself by reading the agenda of my warnings to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd just like to, I'd like to ask, when you came into this business, is it your first experience of running food premises?
Yeah, it's my first experience. You know, I've done taxi here in 14 years in this Brighton, in Hove.
Okay, so I just wondered, a lot of these problems could have been resolved if you had actually consulted a professional advisor, like it appears that you have done now, who would have told you about the planning permission. I mean, due diligence on taking over a premises would also be looking at planning as well, to see if there are any planning conditions, because there may well have been others. And I think, you know, it's very unfortunate that you have got to this stage without having that professional advice behind you.
Right.
And I think that's a lesson that you need to be learned. And the fact that you still can't tell us what the full licensing objectives are.
You know, I think
sorry, that was, I think what I don't want to do is to carry on with you sort of repeating the same things and saying the same things. So what I'm going to do now is ask, hang on, Emily, have you, I'm getting very, Emily, would you like to do a summing up? Are we at that stage now? Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, please. I think we need some.
Okay, thank you, Chair. This hearing was arranged so that the licensing authority can determine an application for a review of a premises licence submitted by Sussex Police in respect of the late night refreshment licence issued for Saffron. You've heard from all parties present, and everyone has had their chance to ask questions and put forward their case. The licensing authority can now consider what action under its statutory powers is appropriate. It may take any of the following steps: modify the conditions of the premises licence, including adding new conditions, any alteration or omission of an existing condition, exclude a licensable activity from the scope of the licence, suspend the licence for a period not exceeding 3 months, revoke the licence, or do nothing. In deciding which of these powers to invoke, it is expected that licensing authorities should, so far as possible, seek to establish the cause or causes of the concerns that the representations identify. The remedial action taken should generally be directed at these causes and should always be no more than an appropriate and proportionate response to address the causes of concern that instigated the review. In making a determination of this review submission, I would also advise the panel refer to paragraphs 11.16 to 11.23 of the Section 182 guidance and the Licensing Act 2003, which give guidance on powers of a licensing authority on the determination of a review. Thank you, Chair.
There we go. Sorry. Thank you very much. I'd now like to ask if Sue or Mitchie would like to make sort of do a summary of their objections.
Shall I go first?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, and Sue wants to as well. So, Mitchie, if you'd like to go ahead.
So I haven't done one of these panels before, so I didn't really realise I'd have to do a summary. But in my mind, the premises and its position so near a residential block is just not suited to carry on with the late night licence. I mean, it is more than one person that I've spoken to. It's the complaints aren't just coming from one person. And I have to say that they've all said that they don't mind the sort of normal evening and daytime opening hours. It is specifically the late night licence that there seems to be a problem with. I think that's all I have to say.
Thanks ever so much, and thank you for waiting so long, Sue.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I've had one person who was very persistent and was, I think, the one that Mitchie read out. I had as well. I think one of the, I didn't realise actually that it was not only, but it is about delivery, and I think that is a major problem in the city, particularly in that area. You've got a residential area, you've got people coming on motorbikes to pick stuff up, and it causes problems all over the city. So I don't think I suppose the issues about the violence that's happened and the breaking of conditions and stuff are a completely different thing. I think it's not a different thing, and it's a reason for revoking that license. But I also think there is a lesson there for us about late night delivery. It's not, it just causes a lot of nuisance to local people, wherever it is, and especially here. So yeah, that's it for me, I think.
Okay, thanks. Now who else have I got? Rebecca, have I missed anybody?
So Emma Lawrence, I don't know if she's still here. But...
Emma, hi Emma. Would you like to say anything?
I'm still here.
Yeah. Would you like to give us a brief issues that you're concerned about?
Right. Yeah. Just to summarise, whenever it did open, Saffron, it has been breaching the conditioned hours of opening. When it was leased to the people, they usually contact the council to find out if it can have planning permission to operate, and it's been operating for 3 years, breaching this condition. So I look forward to the licence panel's decision and going forward. That is it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for your patience. Rebecca, is it Donna now? Is it? Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. Very short. The licence team fully support the application submitted by Slots Police and invites the licensing panel to revoke the premises licence. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And finally, I'd like to ask Mr. Habibi or his representative to do a quick summary.
Thank you, Chair, very much. Yes, we would repeat the offer that in the spirit of enforcement of the licensing conditions and the residents' concerns, that the Saffron will cease trading at 1 o'clock if members go along with us on that line of thought. Cease trading at 1 o'clock and close at 1 o'clock. As you know, it's not dining, it's only customer collections and home deliveries. We are offering the additional measures of displaying a number for people to call if they've got concerns, so they don't actually have to come here. And we'd also offer to hold meetings with the residents or their representatives every 6 months or so that open up a line of communication. But we think with the shorter times as well, that will address a lot of the issues and put us in line with the neighbouring premises, the bar down the road, etc. So they won't be open, they won't be attracting people here late at night, etc., etc. And we would ask you to give them a chance and to seriously consider imposing the shorter time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that's it now. Apart from Rebecca, would you like to do your closing statements or closing?
Well, I don't really
comments,
have
please?
anything to add unless you've got any specific questions of me. I mean, in terms of planning and licensing, I mean, it is set out in, well, both in our policy and in the guidance. And the guidance, the statutory guidance, does say there are some circumstances when as a condition of planning permission, a terminal hour has been set for use of premises. Where these hours are different to the licensing hours, the applicant must observe the earlier closing time, and then you could be in breach of prosecution. So I just want to make that clear. I don't know if that's been understood. And really, it's now for you to go and deliberate and consider all the options open to you in response to this review.
Thank you very much for that advice. And I think obviously, yes, this is a situation where we do have to mention the planning status. Okay, so thank you, everybody.
Sorry, there was one question, like she asked me earlier about the license object. Sorry, about my English is not very good. So it's just the 4 things, like public safety, the child harm, and noises, public noise. So these are the things. I did read it like earlier about the license so many times, but honestly, I didn't understood your question. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. But we need to know that you are aware of them. Now, as I said, calling this part of the meeting to a close. The other members of the panel and I will be going into closed session with Rebecca as our legal advisor and Frankie as our clerk, who'll be taking minutes. Thank you very much to everybody else, especially those of you who've come along today, Sue and Mitchie, to put your points forward, and you'll get a letter within a working week. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.